So I wanted to make this video a few weeks ago, but at that point what I'm suggesting was only theoretical and didn't have much evidence. But now, after a few playdays, there seems to be a bit more of a foundation for what I'm suggesting. The launch of Operation Shadow Legacy brought with it some very impactful gameplay changes which have seemed to divide the community quite a bit. While there are definitely some negative aspects to these additions, I generally like to focus on the positive, and I think that one addition which is almost universally positive is the addition of the reinforcement pool. The main reason I say this is that for most of the game's lifespan, there's been a significant rift between the casual community and the competitive community, with an ongoing discussion regarding the direction of game development and which route the game should take. Naturally, every addition or gameplay change sparks a new debate around which of these two communities is affected positively and which is affected negatively. In this case though, I believe that both communities benefit. The implications for the casual community are pretty obvious. If someone happens to leave or disconnect, you still have the ability to use all 10 reinforcements, or if someone who isn't entirely experienced in the game misses something, you can cover for them. But this should, and generally is, not an issue when we talk about competitive play. So what are the benefits here? I think that there are, generally speaking, two benefits which the reinforcement pool brings to competitive play. The first is rather straightforward, and that is that it allows for more freedom within the prep phase, which by default enables different, perhaps more complex strategies. What I mean is that defenders can have an insanely thought out prep which could be very strong, but if they can't manage to set that up within the 45 to say 60 seconds of the prep that you realistically have, then that strat is useless. This change enables operators who previously didn't have a tremendous amount of prep, Vigil, Wamai, Valk, etc., to do the majority of the reinforcing, while operators who need to do a lot during the prep phase, Smoke, Mute, Jaeger, Castle, etc., are less bottlenecked by needing to reinforce themselves. The second benefit, and this is the one which excites me, is that defenses now have the ability to be far more dynamic and reactive than before. While we certainly had the ability to late reinforce previously, it is now far easier to pull off because it doesn't require a specific operator to be in a specific position at all points of the round. We've seen a couple instances of this already. VP late reinforced freezer wall on Oregon after feeling some freezer pressure, but by leaving it open during the first portion of the round, they had the ability to contribute to a pillar and E-box push if it were to come. G2 also showed us a late reinforcement, this time on Cafe while holding Reading. Though it has become pretty meta to just hold Cocktail, G2 wanted to extend to Pixel but quickly conceded it, falling back through Bathroom, out the back of Freezer, and late reinforcing. We've seen Empire late reinforce the Showers wall on Oregon as well. I like the idea of using this kind of reactive play with reinforcements, much like DZ do with their utility here. While it might not be immediately apparent, it seems that DZ set up their utility in the position which needs to be most immediately defended, check to see where the attackers are spawning, and then rotate their utility accordingly. Could this work with reinforcements as well? Be sure to let me know of any late reinforcement ideas you've thought of since the introduction of the reinforcement pool, or just in general. If you want to support me and my content, I made a Patreon page. This is by no means necessary, but would be very much appreciated. And special thank you to Alzac13 for being my first contributor.